Okay, now I'm gonna go into the roots of why we had to have a loving versus Virginia case. And now the statement, my Freudian slip just now of living, is a very clear statement that we've been living in a state of death. We've literally been flatlining in America, tolerating things like miscegenation laws. Okay, so once again, you can see there, that's again chivalry, the icon of the one, what we're supposed to do. But we don't, it's a curse. This image is an omen against you, chauvinist men, and especially you men that disrespect women, whether it be Scarlett Johansson or any black woman. Hides the lowest. This idol is an omen against you, okay? It's an omen. It's a statement of your doom because what you should do and refuse to do, it will testify against you worse than every book of okay, as you know. So once again, reflecting again on this,
the recent law school graduate who,
video.
along with law partner Bernard Cohen, got involved in a loving spite after letter to the American Civil Liberties
Let's look at
Union.
this for a second.
Initially, it was seen as a simple criminal case.
Did you know right away this is a case that could change history? No.
If it was something of such great note, there's no way the ACLU would have let Bernie Cohen and me do it. He was 2 years out of law school with no experience whatever, and I was 2 months out of law school.
2 months.
Saying we had no significant Supreme Court experience is overstating it. We had no Supreme Court experience.
Nothing.
Despite the civil rights milestones of the 1960s, more than a dozen states at the time still banned interracial marriage.
Those who support such laws claim they are necessary in order to
And
preserve
I'll tell you what, I'm
the
going to show you right now the
purity
reason why there's a problem. That map tells you everything you need to know, okay?
More than a dozen states at the time still banned interracial marriage.
those who support
All right, I'm going to try one more time.
Significant Supreme Court experience is overstating it. We had no Supreme Court experience.
Nothing.
Despite the civil rights
I'm gonna show you
milestones of the
that.
1960s,
That red area?
more than a dozen states at the time still banned
Once again, I'm going to show you right here. Dudael, the second Tartarus, were all of the evil angels I'm about to read to you, that their spirit is the influence that caused the ban. Why? Because they were there as a formula to replace human top seed men, black or white, in marriage. So they're the ones that taught you, humans that live here, under the guise of being religious, to ban interracial marriage because they wanted to have interracial marriage between evil spirits themselves and human beings. So you Southerners dug these evil spirits out of Tartarus, which is written over in here, and I'm going to read to you right here. Why did we have to have this court case? Because of this. And it came to pass when the children of men had multiplied, that in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters, like that lovely black woman that Richard Loving married. Okay, yes. This is from the book of Enoch the prophet. Okay, page 5. It is chapter 6, verse 1. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. So what happens is, because these evil angels influence you Southerners and taught you all that stuff, they wanted to block, they have to do something to get in. So they have to divide and conquer. So when they split black and white, male and female, they teach you right Southerners, they taught you all to separate and to ban the black man so then they can come after you and then they take your finest women in the guise of human flesh. That's why you had the laws against interracial marriage. It was an act of hypocrisy. They would forbid it along color lines, but the real racial problem was them as another race of fallen angels that's forbidden from them to have sex with human beings. They're the ones, it was basically hypocritical lie. In hypocrisy, speaking lies. That's where the laws came from. Dudael in Texas is where the second Tartarus is. That's where all the evil angels listed here were put by Uriel when the rebellion was put down, when they had nearly destroyed the solar system. And I'm going to read it to you right here. Okay, here we go. And Samjaza, who was Shiva the Destroyer, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecation not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swear they all together, and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it, and they were in all 200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it Mount Hermon, like harmony. Okay, the same place where Sheikh Al Shaddai and the manifestation of the God of the Bible, Zeus Yahweh, and the Shaddai goddesses used to teach the people about sexual love in what was called Palestine. Palestine, the name indicates it was a palatial palace type place. Okay, that's something you forget about. And Mount Hermon was a place of harmony, love and between male and female and humanity. And now it's considered a place of Armageddon because of these evil angels' presence, as I've discussed long ago. Because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders: Semaias, which is Shemzaza, another word of Samjaza, their leader Arakiba, Ramiel, Okokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, Ezequiel. Ezequiel is once again is known as Cloud of God, along with Chazaquel, Cloud and Shooting Star of God, the two deities, angels that rule Gemini, that murdered their eternal soulmates, who I know as well is the evil spirit now. Colin Jost, too, is married to Scarlet Angel Johansson, so they're still doing the same thing, okay? Because that's what you Southerners think is the bee's knees. Vera Quadgel, through mind control, they're all mind control freaks, okay? Asael, Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zaquiel, Samsapiel, Satarel, Terrell, Jomjael, Sarael, okay? And once again, as I said, and all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments and the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with planets, and they became pregnant. And so Scarlet Angel Johansson had a child Cosmo. Okay, once again, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against mankind, okay, and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish. Means the angels were having sex with animals, which is basically why I said about him. He learned about sex, raping animals on a farm, and devour one another. Flesh and drink the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones, and I'm doing this again. Okay, so once again, as I said, it's because of these evil angels written in the book that they forbid the marriage, just like what happened to me, because they want the finest women. So they teach you humans to forbid it because they take the women. Okay, and that's why we had this problem. Because the statement of interracial marriage is super hypocritical. First of all, black and white are the same race. The ban is a trick of the angels because they're talking about themselves. They're the ones who are banned from being sexual with human beings because they're in the guise of human. And as the scripture says, many have entertained angels unawares, who also entertain in your orifices, ladies, evil spirits unawares, like conjurers. They're evil spirits, okay? So once again, same problem. And that's where the roots of it is. In demonism and apostasy, in a place worse than hell, the fate of the abyss. Okay? Pain oblivion.